Assistant managers make up a very important part of the Sonic Drive-In management team. These individuals are in fact responsible for managing more than 60% of all shifts in a typical Sonic Drive-In. The selection, mentorship, and retention of assistant managers are not only critical to their success, but also the success of your Sonic Drive-In. This guide brings everything together to provide Sonic leadership with the key information, resources, and best practices they need to build an effective and successful assistant manager team. Why is assistant manager development so important to you and your drive-in?
It's imperative that we properly staff assistant managers across the system. They make up the bulk of the management complement, and it's important that we get the right people to do the job and that we properly train them. They run more than 60% of all shifts across the system, so obviously if we're going to execute the Sonic brand and make sure that we're giving the guests the experience that they deserve, these people have got to be their very, very best.
Assistant managers, again, I think are as important or more important to the success of the drive-in than the GM. GM obviously is the #1 guy, but your support team is going to dictate your success because you can do great time, have times, quality service, while the GM is there, it can all fall apart when they're not. You got to have that consistency. And without high quality trained assistants, you're never going to get there.
Your assistant manager is your right-hand man. If you don't have a quality assistant manager, you're not going to function. Your assistant manager helps to drive the business. And if they're not trained well, you're not going to be successful. If you're struggling in your store with halftime or late tickets or mystery shops, you can start at the top and look at yourself, but you have to work your way down through your management team, because if your management team's not right, nothing else is going to work in the store.
The Assistant Manager Guide provides very important tools to getting the right individual for your assistant manager position. The job summary and assistant manager competencies deliver the framework of the position skills and responsibilities to eliminate any confusion, as well as set clear expectations as you staff this position. Why is staffing and building a solid bench of assistant managers critical to your organization?
Well, it's not only important to have the properly trained assistants, but it's important to have people coming up through the system to be trained to be an assistant manager. I'm not really big into stress, and the way you eliminate stress is you make sure that you're proactive and that you plan ahead. It's important for us to be ready when we have opportunities. There's an old saying that luck is where preparation meets opportunity. So the preparation is in having people ready for the things that come our way. So that's a huge part of it. I mean, you simply have to have people that are ready to run the business. But in another way, you have to have people that you're always creating an opportunity for. I said earlier that 88% of the managers in my organization started as hourly employees. And there's nothing better than to watch those people be able to have a job that they never thought they would have in their life, that be successful beyond their wildest dreams, and to be able to work their way into a position where they're partners with them.
As a brand leader in the Sonic Drive-In business, you're ultimately responsible for the recruitment, selection, development, and retention of great assistant managers.
We have 56 stores. 88% of our managers came from employees. So in our system, everybody's job is to find somebody that they can bring on and they can move up to the next level. And that's really what's made us, achieve the level of success we have now. That's what's made us be able to grow from one store to another store to another store, and do it where we have qualified people running the stores, not just somebody to throw in there.
The guide outlines recommended management complements based on sales volumes, as well as assistant manager compensation planning.
And we set up our assistant manager program. We originally set it up so that, and the way ours is set up, so that our assistant managers bonus, and that's really how we keep them. And when we set that up, we really set it up so that we could either motivate people from inside, or frankly, so we could walk down the street if we saw a really great assistant manager person at a Taco Bell and know that we could hire them because we knew we would be giving them, more than what they were getting in their organization. In ours, the assistant manager gets paid a very high hourly wage. They bonus based on the performance of the restaurant, and we provide health insurance for them. So, so we have incentives that most people probably don't give to their assistant managers, and we just think that's smart business because we're not turning them over anymore.
This guide provides new tools and resources better to support both internal and external recruitment and the selection process. The guide offers information on job posting sites, on-lot recruitment materials, and local recruiting, in addition to a new hiring management system. Developing great assistant managers. How do your assistant managers add value to your team?
Assistant managers are vitally important to the success of your business. The better that they are trained and the longer that you keep them on, they're the ones that help you move your business forward. They're the ones that are your cheerleader. They're in your back corner, and once you get them pumped up and trained and ready to go, then they can help train and motivate and move the rest of your team.
The guide clearly outlines assistant manager development path and the resources needed to successfully accomplish the critical processes, from the STAR program to the entry-level management red books to assistant manager leadership certification classes and ongoing development to become a manager. A new assistant manager training checklist is included in this guide to keep things on pace.
We go through training our assistant managers one step at a time. We don't expect them to come in the first day and know everything. You start off with basic fundamentals, with e-learning and videos like Joe Zocker and Sonic Safe videos, and you work through modules and go through the red and the blue, and you basically keep them moving forward.
How has the assistant manager leadership certification classes improved your assistant manager's performance?
About a year ago, my supervisor and I talked about strengthening our second line because I felt we're a little weak. We said, we're going to do something next winter. What we're going to do are assistant manager classes. We're going to rent a hotel, and we're going to have a series of topics. And then Sonic came up with the assistant manager training classes, a condensed form of what we were going to do for us. The benefits are, A, you get a consistent training program from real trainers. We're not trainers, we're operators. It was incredibly good for morale. People that went to the assistant manager training class came back sky high. They saw a bigger world. They knew it wasn't just their little drive-in. They also felt very good that they had a future with our company. We had made an investment in them as people. We saw reductions in food costs. We saw increases in shopper averages. It's an absolute win-win-win for them, for the guest, and for myself as a principal.
What about the team's morale?
The assistant manager's morale was significantly higher because we'd made a commitment and investment in them. When they go back, and the energy you bring to your shift is the energy your shift is going to have. So when they're performing at a higher level, everybody's performing at a higher level. Car hops are smiling more, they're happier. Food is going out faster, it's higher quality food. It's just, everybody's in a much better frame of mind to serve the guest.
As a successful assistant manager, tell us about the program.
I think the thing that makes the assistant manager training so awesome is the fact that it's all right there. It's all really well laid out for my disposal. And it's kind of like a graduated course development. I start off kind of easier and I get the basic essentials, and then I move on to the nitty-gritty stuff, which in turn solidifies what I've learned along the way as an assistant manager, and it prepares me to be an assistant manager that has all the tools to take over for when my GM is not available. And if I wanted to progress with my own franchise group, it allows me to almost be ready to become a completely independent GM by myself.
Keeping great assistant managers is as important as the selection and hiring process, and this guide offers a wealth of information on retention. From calculating and analyzing turnover to retention best practices and a performance appraisal tool so you can keep the great people you've worked hard to develop.
It's a lot cheaper to keep the same people going than it is to keep turning over employees every month, every day. So if I'm hiring the right people in the first place, I'm going to put a lot of time and effort into retaining those people. It's important that you take it under your wing to be a mentor to everybody who comes in your store. You know, I feel like a lot of times as a father figure to my people that walk in the door. They come in with a wide variety of problems and struggles in their lives, and I get personally invested in them, and then they get personally invested in me. And when I do that, I not only have myself as a partner in the store, I have a store full of people who are bought in as partners with me in the drive-in. And that loyalty that I get from them make me successful, because when they buy into you, there's nothing that you can't accomplish in the store. There's no problem that you can't face down and overcome. So mentoring your people is where it starts, and you have to have that spirit within inside of you to make you want to be that person, because not everybody out there has a perfect life, and you need to understand that. But my people, when they come in my store, they know that there's at least one person that cares about how they are in their lives, and that care translates into, I don't do it for the money, I do it because that's who I am, but it translates into dollars at the end of the day, because they do a good job for me, and they do a good job because they want to do a good job for me, not because I'm standing over and forcing them to do it. And I have a lot of people that come back to me later in life and say, thank you, you know, for being that person in my life, because I didn't have it. And I do it. That's why I continue to do the job that I do today.
Many of today's assistant managers will be the manager/operator partners of tomorrow. As leaders in this business, it's our responsibility to effectively select and develop quality assistant managers by using competence-driven staffing and training tools. It's imperative we take an active role in mentoring these individuals for their future and ours. The Guide to Assistant Manager Staffing, Training, and Retention is your first step in the process in your road to success. The Guide to Assistant Manager Staffing, Training, and Retention resources and tools can be found on this CD and on the Sonic PartnerNet training page.